What is up, guys? It is 11:30, something like that, or 11 a.m. Today I'm working from home. After all of these days that passed that were pretty chaotic, today I'm having a chill day, which basically just means I'm not moving, but I'm still working all day long. I've prepped some smoothies today and listened to the audiobook of Deep Work by Cal Newport. And to be honest, this is the first book, like of all of the books that I've read, this is probably the first one that I cannot recommend. Like, it is very basic, and maybe that's because of where I am right now, that these things sound basic to me, maybe they're not. But in my opinion, that whole book is very, just basic. So if you thought about reading Deep Work by Cal Newport, don't do it. So guys, I gotta be honest with you, I kind of am deeply dissatisfied right now with the situation I'm at. And it's all my fault. That's why I'm dissatisfied, because I've learned to really not care about anyone else. I don't know if it's a bad thing or a good thing. It probably is a good thing, because if you think about nature and survival, then the animal caring about itself the most will defend itself the most, so it will probably survive. Not to say that I don't think about other people and how to get the most out of other people and also how to provide for other people so you get something back, but that's just the reality of the world. Like, you don't wake up and work hard so someone else can relax just like that. You maybe want to work hard so someone else can relax so you get something out of it. But yeah, right now me and my brother are in exchange with a couple that are renting apartments. We're pretty close to finally signing a contract so we can finally move in somewhere, because this has been taking 5 months now, and that's why I'm deeply dissatisfied, because all of the things that I've thought to myself would happen didn't happen. And it's like, you might think, well, then don't think about the future and think things are gonna happen, but at the same time, that's why I'm moving forward. And that's why I even have something to move forward to. If I didn't have that, I would be lost. I know that for a fact, because if I don't have that, or when I don't have that, I am lost. Like, I always have to catch myself when I'm lost, thinking about how can I get myself out of this lostness and move to something bigger. And probably that's just the challenge of life. Because in today's day and age, you don't have to fight for survival. You don't have to physically run or climb or do any physical work that is directly related to your survival, like hunting for food or running from animals or protecting your children. Like, maybe you have to do that when you have children, or protecting your family, but when do you really have to do that? The reality is you kind of don't have to. So because of that, it's easy to get into this kind of mediocre state where you just don't have any motivation at all. At the end of the day, it's all in your mind, because even though two people have the same circumstances, one person can think to themselves, well, if I put it in that way in my brain, maybe not even consciously, but if I put it that way, this is dangerous for me, so I have to remove it, or I have to do it. The other person doesn't realize it's dangerous or doesn't think it's dangerous, and so they don't remove it, and so they act differently. It really all comes down to your mindset. And that means that every day, even though you know there's no struggle, no real struggle, like how much struggle is it to wake up, go to the bathroom, eat something out of a fridge that is in perfect condition, walk to a car, drive the car somewhere? Like, how is that challenging? It's not. The only challenge you could put yourself into is mental challenges and physical challenges, but you have to put yourself into that situation. It won't happen just like that. It will happen at some point if you let go of it for a long enough time, but even that, then people are gonna force you physically into something, but you still yourself don't have to do anything, and you're not gonna die. The worst that could happen is like the police arriving at your place, telling you you haven't paid anything in the last months, you're going to jail, basically. But what is gonna happen then? Like, you're gonna end up in jail, sitting there, and maybe you have some tough guys, but at the end of the day, you still have an easy life. So any outcome of not doing anything is not really that bad. The only bad thing there is like the view you get of yourself, because you know what you're capable of, but you didn't follow through. And I don't know where this is leading, but in the last weeks, months, this year basically, no, the last few years, it has been ups and downs all the time. I just realized that what I'm trying to do with my life, outside of what I'm trying to accomplish, is to kind of not have those highs and lows, to always avoid that, because it's painful. I do that by putting in systems that make sure that this pain doesn't happen. But the reality is, it's always going to be painful no matter what. Like, if you do nothing, it's going to be painful. We just talked about that, because even though nothing physically is going to happen, the view of yourself, of your capabilities, will eat you alive. And going through those ups and downs is also going to be painful, because I mean, that's self-explanatory. So the question is, how do we go about that? And then I had these circle of thoughts many times, and I always arrive at the point that I realize that we're just part of nature, and nature is a fight for survival. There is no perfect, there is just who is going to survive, which basically means you can chase the highs, but you have to expect the lows, and you just have to. Not fighting basically means wishing to die, because it means you're not trying to survive. So to go back to what I'm doing all the time, it's like every time I think about these things or talk about these things, I shift into a different sphere of mind. Like I have this daily thing where I work, or I cut videos, I work out, I eat, I do this and that, and then I have these kind of things where I'm not thinking about anything but this, where I shift and I completely have a different energy. And I feel like the issue with my life right now is that I don't have this energy with the things that I'm doing, which is a different way of saying I'm not obsessed with what I'm doing 100%. Because if I was, I would be there more and more. Just like you, maybe you love football, or you love Harry Potter, or whatever you love doing or watching or talking about in your free time. If you could make that thing your life, you would have limitless energy. And that's how other people become wildly successful, because they find that thing and they can't even help themselves. Like sometimes they don't even plan to do it, but they just wake up every day so obsessed with the thing that they can't help but just work. Like look at Elon Musk. He doesn't motivate himself. He doesn't build systems to be motivated or to be disciplined. I mean, I haven't dived into Elon Musk too much, so I can't really speak from experience, but just looking at him, he's not a guy who's working out or meditating. Like, you can't convince me of that. So me doing that all day long is just showing that I'm not enjoying the things that I'm doing, so I have to build systems to keep myself at it. And this whole realization is just tough, because I can't get out of the situation right now. I can't stop, and I shouldn't stop, because the only limiting factor is financials. And you might think then, well, if you just remove the financial factor, then everybody could have a great life and do what they want. But then again, we're at survival. And I haven't really thought about it philosophically, but in some kind of way, the fight for money has replaced the fight for survival. So it just shifted from fighting physically for your body to fighting for an imaginary value, basically. Because even though you have like physical money, but you also have a bank account, most of the money doesn't exist. It's just numbers on screens. So we're fighting for what? And in that sense, you can't just remove that factor and then everybody's gonna have a happy life. You have to just realize that no matter what happens in the future of humanity, it's always going to be a fight. You either embrace it and realize that on a daily basis that you have to fight, or you're basically going to die. And since our fight is not physical, but mental, you're not gonna physically die, but mentally. So this video has been a bit different, but I hope in the future to be more open, to talk about myself more, to talk about the reality that I'm living, that I'm seeing. But I also have to get back to doing all of the work that's in front of me, because I have no other option right now. And maybe I do, I probably do, but I'm just blind, as everybody else is, by not knowing stuff, by your ego. But I'm not so blind to realize that there are a lot of people that became successful and they got there faster than I did, or from worse circumstances. So if they can do it, I can do it. And with that said, thanks for watching this video. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Peace.